Hi Ben Brett, it's Just Fan TV back with another video, and today's video is basically kind of like a season review of players whether Rangers should keep, sell or loan. So like I said, we're going to go through the team or the squad that Rangers had for this season. Then we're going to go look at players that are out on loan and maybe see where what happens there. So we're going to start with the goalkeepers. I think, to me, no one should go. I think it seems like the goalkeepers' positions, for me anyway, seem to be fine. I don't think there's any problems with that. So with that in mind, I'd keep Firth, keep McGregor, and keep McLaughlin. Going into the defenders, which I think is going to be interesting. I think Simpson, I'll be honest, I don't know. He might go on loan. He might be kept, but I think he will maybe not play as much. Taverner, Patterson, Goldson, Hollander, Barisic and Balogun I think will be kept. Bassey and Leon King, Pot and maybe Simpson could go out on loan. Maybe someone gets sold there. I don't know, but I think King going out on loan. Maybe Bassey, like I say. I think Bassey and Simpson are the two that I'm unsure about whether they'll, what will happen. But I think, if they do go on loan, then, it's win-win for Rangers as well when they get minutes. Into midfield, again, like most of the squad, I don't think there's going to be too many. Obviously, Zungu is going back to Ames in France. Rangers have said that they won't renew the option to bring him in permanently. So I think basically players to keep: Arfield, Aribo, Davis, Hadji, Jack Kamara, Kent and Wright I think will be kept. I think Middleton, for me this season, I think it's going to be interesting whether he goes out on loan or not. I think, if he can go out on loan again, I wouldn't be too disappointed. I think it's, he's done well being on loan at St Johnstone. To be at a club that have won the 2 cup doubles this season, I think obviously shows that St Johnstone are doing well. Whether he could maybe get another year to try and get more of a start wouldn't be too much of a problem. I think Jamie Jonas will be one to probably go out on loan again. I think maybe even a 6-month loan I could maybe understand. Dixon, Caden Dixon, who is midfielder, I think will probably go out on loan as well. Into strikers, I don't really see much players leaving, if I'm honest. I think Defoe, it does sound like Rangers want to have him for, or I should say it's speculated that Rangers want to have him. Morelos and Wright, obviously, with Roof, I think will stay. I think Stewart and Itten will be interesting. I suppose with Defoe, I think Defoe will probably stay. I think Itten and Stewart will be interested to see what happens. It is, I wouldn't say a lot, but a few rumours saying that Greg Stewart might go or leave Rangers, I should say. Well, but nothing was said whether it be as a loan deal or as a permanent deal. But we'll obviously see what happens. Into players that have been out on loan, I think Jamie Murphy will be an interesting one. Jake Hasty will be one as well. or the main ones. I think Robbie McCrory will be a very interesting one as well. To me, I think Robbie to go out on again, I think would be very good. I think uh, maybe in a year or so, you could maybe be considering him kind of as a number two stroke one. Maybe like a lot of teams do in England will play the number one in most of the games, or in the Premier League in the cup games like the Carabao or the FA Cup. The second choice keeper plays. So maybe in a few seasons or so, Robbie McCrory might be playing uh, some cup games, which I think will be good. If he goes out loan, I've got no problem. But like I say, I think Jamie Murphy and Jake Hasey will be two loan or were loan deals that will be interesting to see what happens there. I'm just trying to see if there's another one will be interesting is George Edmondson. I think that and Jordan Jones. I think are going to be two that will be very interesting to see what happens. Personally, I think, or as reports had said before, that Gerrard is or had considered letting Jones go. Again, nothing said whether it would be a permanent deal or not, or there was a few reports saying it would be. I think Edmondson's going to be interesting with obviously Simpson, Hollander, Balogun, is in Goldson as well. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the centre back position, which I think is going to be the main, not debate, but interesting back four for the next season. I think there'll be, maybe playing. I think Hollander did play well, but I think it was more for European experience, which I can understand. But like I say, a good choice of players, but I think to have cover or near enough cover for positions, I think is needed. I think, me personally, I think a left back is needed, or a cover left back with Barisic. Yes, I get Bassey has played left back. I don't think it's a position that I'd like to see Bassey in, unless it was something major. But I think when the transfer window opens, I wouldn't be surprised if Rangers went for a left back. I think it's difficult maybe to see what else Rangers would need. I think possibly another striker, but I think, like I say, it all would possibly depend on what Rangers' idea or ideas is with Itten. Obviously Defoe as well, so you could be losing one or two strikers, so obviously a striker would be needed. But obviously Rangers have a squad where maybe Itten could go to somewhere. Jordan Jones could go to somewhere as part of deals, so it'd be interesting to see that. But yeah, not a long video for ins and outs. If you want, who'd you like to see Rangers keep and sell or bring in? I know Lewis Ferguson's been brought up a lot. Honestly, it seems okay, but I think the only thing that kind of is surprising that they do look more of his name, i.e. that he is obviously Ian Ferguson's son. He's related, I think it's his cousin Barry Ferguson as well. So it does kind of be more, to me, as like, oh well, his dad's played, we'll bring him in, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be a long, probably transfer window. Anyway, obviously Nathan Patterson and McLaughlin are going to the Euros with Scotland, so it'll be interesting to see if one or if both can play or start even. But like I say, to wrap this up, a huge big thanks to everyone that's been watching and supporting the channel. If you haven't, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's try and get, going with subs, and we can hopefully keep going. But yeah, like I say, big thanks to everyone that's been watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, I'm out.